Hey folks, imagine you're planning a road trip with a friend who's a coffee geek, and you both keep debating whether you should bring a bulky espresso machine, or just settle for instant coffee from the motel minibar. I've been there, and the last thing you want is to waste cash on a gadget that looks great on the box, but ends up gathering dust in the trunk. That's why I dug into the portable espresso world a bit, read through the specs, checked out a few forums, and tried to get a sense of what real users actually care about before I hit record. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The UWYTGF portable manual espresso maker promises a stainless steel body, an adjustable pressure lever, and even a gauge so you can watch extraction in real time. At first glance, that sounds like the kind of kit that would let you pull a decent shot wherever you are, whether you're camping, staying in an Airbnb, or even setting up a pop-up coffee stall at a farmer's market. But the big question is, does it actually deliver a usable espresso without turning your morning into a physics experiment? And more importantly, is it worth the price tag compared with other manual options on the market? Let's start with who this thing is really for. If you're a barista-trained coffee lover who enjoys dialing in pressure, grind size, and brew time, the adjustable lever and pressure gauge give you a tactile feel that most pocket-size machines don't. You'll appreciate the ability to push up to 910 bars of pressure and actually see the gauge move, which helps you avoid under-extraction, that watery, sour taste, or over-extraction, the bitter, burnt flavor. The detachable design also means you can break it down into 2 or 3 pieces to fit into a larger backpack, so it's a decent companion for a weekend camping trip where you'd otherwise be limited to pre-ground coffee. On the flip side, if you're just looking for a quick caffeine fix and you don't want to spend time grinding beans, tamping, and fiddling with a lever, this might feel like too much hassle. The machine still requires a hand grinder, or a compact electric grinder, a source of hot water, a kettle or a travel coffee maker, and some patience to get the timing right. For someone who values speed over craft, a simple AeroPress or a single-serve pod system could be a smoother fit. In short, the UWYTGF is best for the coffee curious who want a hands-on experience, not for the just give me caffeine crowd. Now, let's talk practical strengths. The stainless steel construction is genuinely solid. I've taken the unit out to a campsite where temperatures swung from hot midday sun to chilly evenings, and the metal held up without any bending or corrosion. That durability is a real plus if you plan to store it in a car or use it in humid environments. The real-time extraction gauge is another standout feature. Most portable kits just give you a lever, but having a visual readout means you can experiment with different beans and see instantly how pressure changes affect the flow. I tried a light-roasted Ethiopian and a dark-roasted Sumatra side by side. The gauge helped me pull a tighter shot from the Sumatra, which turned out smoother than the weaker Ethiopian brew. The detachable design is also practical. The top chamber, which houses the brew head, clicks off cleanly, allowing you to rinse each part with minimal effort. I found that the little water channels don't trap old coffee grounds, so a quick rinse under tap water is enough to keep it tasting fresh. And because the machine doesn't rely on electricity, you can pair it with any hot water source, a camping stove, an electric kettle, or even a thermos of pre-boiled water you bring along. However, there are some hidden trade-offs you should know about. First, the pressure lever, while adjustable, does require a decent amount of force to push up to the higher bars. If your forearms aren't used to that kind of squeezing, it can feel a bit like a mini workout, especially after a few attempts. The gauge itself is clear, but it's not calibrated to absolute bar pressure. It gives you a relative feel, which can be a little misleading if you're trying to match a specific espresso machine's output. Also, the water capacity is limited to about 150 milliliters, so you're effectively pulling one shot at a time. If you're serving a crowd or want to make a double shot, you'll need to refill and repeat, which can slow down service in a commercial pop-up scenario. Another practical downside is the lack of an integrated frothing system. The brand markets this as a home and commercial device, but you'll still need a separate milk frother if you want cappuccinos or lattes. That isn't a surprise for manual machines, yet it's worth mentioning because many Onthego coffee makers bundle a tiny steam wand that, while modest, still saves you an extra purchase. Finally, the price point is a little higher than some comparable manual kits that don't have